I'm about to change the question. Is there such thing as being too woke? Because obviously, like, we are like conscious of our surroundings and shit. I wouldn't say woke, but we conscious of our surroundings. Is there a thing being too woke?
Well, I would say as far as that topic, because when I originally saw it, I would say that being woke and being conscious are two different things. Because I feel like being woke is being more socially aware of being aware of it's like whatever being presented in mainstream media, then you dissecting the mainstream media narratives. That's being woke. You know what I'm saying? Being conscious has nothing to do with mainstream and what's going on in society. Being conscious is more about, a spiritual awareness. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like being woke is more rooted in what's going on in social media and what's being presented, like, knowing, just being aware of all the shit that's going on and what's being presented towards you in social media. So I feel like being woke and being conscious are two completely different things.
Yeah.
So would you say you on your own shit as far as being conscious and as far as being woke, you more about the social aspect of shit?
Yeah, but I think woke is more of a social thing, and I think conscious is more of like your
Just you
internal.
and your own well
You know what I'm
being.
saying? It's more about your spirit. It's just it's a spiritual understanding. You know what I'm saying? Or developing the spiritual understanding. You know what I'm
So,
saying?
so
Two
you don't
completely
think
different things.
because you don't think woke could be your conscious thing, because like some of the times, like even as you think about like some of the times that make it to social media or social programming or what have you, those are some things that are also underlined and like based off of like your own enlightenment. Whereas though, like, yes, it might be something that is like a controversial or a topic that is being pushed in the mainstream or pushed on social. But I feel like me personally, I feel like woke and conscious are the same. And I think that it's more so about being enlightened as opposed to like being like thinking about it like socially woke or conscious of different things. Because like if honestly, I don't even like the terms as it is, because like woke and conscious makes it seem like everybody else who isn't the same isn't thinking about life or isn't thinking about different things, different aspects of life in a more in-depth term. And so if you are thinking about it in that way, you're supposed to be woke or conscious of different things as opposed to like actually wanting to be enlightened and different things of that nature. And I think that's the way I look at it. I don't necessarily even know about like I don't agree with like the term woke or conscious or anything of the sort. Like I said, I feel like it's all about like how you envision life and how you process things and want to go deeper into like learning about things. Because yeah.
Just to respond to that, I would say as far as like when it's speaking and using terms conscious and woke, it's not necessary. It's more about like, just in terms of communication. It's like if somebody was to use the word conscious, like, okay, you talking in that ballpark over there, so I'm using the word conscious. It's not like some like, I'm higher than those who are not. It's just like speaking like, okay, that person, thinks beyond the surface. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it kind of is. At the end of the day, it's like, yeah, everybody has the ability to look beyond the surface, but then there's some people who do it more than others. You know what I'm saying? But also, what I would say as far as like the being woke and being conscious thing, I would say that the only thing I would separate with that is you don't have to have a television, you don't have to have a social media, you don't have to have a newspaper. You don't need to know what the government is doing. That has nothing to do with your consciousness. That's spiritual. Like even if a system didn't exist, if a newspaper never exists, if a president never existed, you could still be conscious. But being woke is being indulging in what's going on in the system, what's going on within those realms. Like that's being woke from my perspective. Like because when people talk about like as far as my perspective, when people say they woke, they're always talking about like governments and presidents and injustices and shit like that. Conscious, when people are so-called being conscious, at least from in terms of the word, they're like talking on shit that you can't see with your eyes. It's like it's beyond the five senses. You know what I'm saying? That's what being conscious is. Like being woke is like indulging in the physical shit. You know what I'm saying? If that makes
Would you
sense.
say
You know what I
woke
mean?
being woke is a step behind being conscious with the
I mean,
consciousness?
woke, I think
A
that
step
woke
or two?
is still some. I mean, you got to ask questions. So that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? At the
Yeah.
end of the day, as long as you question something, that's all that fucking matters. So that's fucking being woke. The fact that you even question, that's the way it all begins, asking questions. You know what I'm saying? But even if a person is focusing on what's going on in society, and a person is focusing on what's going on in their life, that like, because to me, consciousness is like about like knowing the symbolism of what happens in your life and your connection with a higher being, with God. You're like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, this happened today. That was a divine intervention. You know what I'm saying? That's consciousness. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, this random act happened in my life. That's God communicating to me through this person. That's consciousness. You see what I'm saying? Like wokeness is focusing on you know what I'm saying? What the hell is going on in society? That's, I think those are, if I can clarify it, if I can make sense, like when you look in that world at the life from a spiritual perspective, you know what I'm saying? Like even in church, people talk like seeing things like, you know, as if God is communicating through other people. Random acts happen. You might be put in a situation where you have to make a split decision, like in this moment, and it's like, this is God testing me in this moment. Did I make the right decision? Like, you see shit like that. That's what I mean. And then you don't have to necessarily be smart to think like that. You can just be spiritually inclined. You can have a relationship with God. You can be the dumbest book smart dude. You might not think, but as long as thinking like that, to me, that's conscious. Like that's how I look at it. You know?
So would you say one is better than the other?
No, I think it's levels to shit. Like, I mean, you can have one without the other, but you can definitely have, you know, both. Hey, but
And the thing as far as the quote unquote consciousness, there's no cap on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's no limit to understanding and learning. So at the end of the day, it's like, you know, as long as you asking questions, that's all that really fucking matters. You know, at the end of the day. You know,
do you think certain people can be too woke?
I think, I mean, yeah, I think so, because I think sometimes you can go too deep into a rabbit hole. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with asking questions, but you can get unbalanced and go get too one-sided and too deep into a certain perspective that you think that's just all it is. I feel like being too woke or being is when you think there's only, you know, one answer. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you're just not open-minded to possibilities, then you capping yourself off. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to say. Exactly. I feel like that's probably like what that shit mean. Like I feel like when you think you know everything, then that's when you fucking like you going off the deep end. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think that's kind of what that shit is.
You lose that rationale and everything.
You lose the rationale, yeah. And don't get me wrong, because sometimes you do have to go off the deep ends in order to see where you was fucking up at, in order to even to a higher level of understanding. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like sometimes you might think like, oh, I get it now, and then you hold on to that so hard, and then one day you realize that you was tripping, but like now you have such a deeper understanding on the left side and the right side, because now, you know what I'm saying? So even when you do that, is you still asking questions, you still gaining knowledge, but you have to be open to the possibility of being wrong. Like that's the key. Like you got to be open to being wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're not, then you're not gonna learn nothing new. You know what I'm saying? It's just that simple. You know.
That's the biggest thing.
Yep.
That's literally all it is. And a lot of that's what's so important about this show, and even over time, like you can't be afraid to just get those ideas out, because you know what I'm saying? It's not about being right. It's like sometimes you can just bounce your information off other people. It ain't even about being right. Like I can get a deeper understanding of what I think based off how Alex responded to what I said,
exactly,
or how you responded to what I said. Even if you don't agree with me, you're making me question myself. So now I have to look deeper into my shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about being right. It's just better about just gaining a better, a deeper understanding. You know what I'm saying? I think that's literally what all that shit is about.
Like I said, like we got a good bullshit meter. So I think like we be like semi-different, but still on the same path. So like it's all about, we all got a good bullshit
meter. And to piggyback on that, I just wanted to go back to the Kamala Harris shit. So
This man's faint. Why?
Was your bullshit meter raised when you seen Kamala Harris was picked as the VP?
You know his running mate is bullshit. Like so, like
Mm-hmm.
all this shit is bullshit. You said the shit. The 2016 was bullshit, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this shit is bullshit. You see the shit, like it's just like how much are you gonna like? Where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
Where do you draw the line?
I feel like at any time, I thought it was last time when we had the vote between
I think when you
fucking Hillary and Trump. I think this is the most. This is like the real lesser of two evils. The lesser of two evils, honestly, dog.
How?
Honestly, because we got Bama out here. We call him Creepy Joe. We know what Trump has done. It's already been out there. They got video recording and everything.
Hillary was worse. Hillary was worse.
You think so?
But whole time, if we talk about it, Hillary,
They stopped her coming out.
Say it again.
All the information they stopped coming out about her is like this Epstein shit don't like compare to the shit.
But okay, but I was
Clinton was on the jet, private jet. Go ahead, Alex.
now I was just gonna say as far as expertise. So expertise, like the same way we talk about. She had the expert. I'll just keep it like this. She had the expertise, and she had so many different levels of working in so many different administrations and everything of that nature. And so we're talking about the lesser of two evils. I don't even think. I think right now in 2020 we might be at a more lesser of two evils as opposed to 2016, simply because in 2016 we're talking about expertise versus a reality star with money.
Right.
And in terms of like actually like running a fucking, I don't want to say running a government or assisting in running in the government as opposed to assisting in running in a business.
But Al, it is.
It is business.
I feel like
I completely know everything is business.
Like, why do everybody? What Corey said earlier, like what makes her qualified? What makes her qualified? They easily step in. And they don't miss a beat. Like, don't that tell you like there's a standard operating procedures in place and shit like that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that one, yeah. I don't know about that one because you talk about standard operating procedures, and that nigga's like, fuck all them because I'm gonna fire everybody in my cabinet. I'm gonna fire everybody. Like if you just
all them do that. All them do that, and all.
Nah, but they all do that, but at the same time they replace somebody. Like this nigga is firing people, and literally it's no person that's being. I mean, I know I don't want to say I know it's probably been done before. But he's doing the jump, and like it seems like it's at a peak level right now. And it might be just because we might be more knowledgeable about the shit. But like right now, it seems like he's firing people, putting nobody in place, and then it's like.
And then that shit is vacant, dog. We don't even have that department no more. That shit is just vacant.
Paid attention.